I am still trying to discuss the 7 steps before we go to the illustrative problem. Now, take note that in step 4, we have the non-controlling interest in net assets, which is computed as the subsidiaries' net assets at fair value. We multiply the non-controlling interest percentage. So we have the product. Then we add goodwill to NCI, net of accumulated impairment losses. Now we have the non-controlling interest in net assets. This amount is 0 if NCI is measured at proportionate share. That's using formula number 1. Goodwill is attributed to NCI only if it's measured at fair value. So we have now step 5, compute the consolidated retained earnings, parents' retained earnings in current year, and we have the consolidation adjustments, share of the parent in the net change in subsidiaries' net assets. Then we have the unrealized profits, downstream only. Now, it's not upstream, it's not included. We have the gain or loss on extinguishment of bonds and the impairment loss on goodwill attributable to parent. And we have the net consolidation adjustments. Okay, so you now get the consolidated retained earnings. Step number 6, determining the consolidated profit or loss. We have the parent, the subsidiary, and the consolidated amounts. Profits before adjustments of both parties, and we have the consolidated as the total. Then we have the consolidation adjustments, the unrealized profits, dividend income from subsidiary, and then we have the gain or loss on extinguishment of bonds, net consolidation adjustments, profits before fair value adjustments. We have the depreciation or the amortization of fair value adjustments. Then we have the impairment loss on goodwill. And we have now the consolidated profit or loss for both the parent and the subsidiary. And for the 7th step, profit or loss attributable to owners of parent and NCI. So we have now the parent and the NCI and the consolidated. Parents' profit before fair value adjustments, and then we have the share in the subsidiaries' profit before fair value adjustments, depreciation or amortization of fair value adjustments, share in impairment loss on goodwill. So we have now the last step in the drafting of the consolidated financial statements. This include amounts determined in the previous step as we will have this in our illustrative problem. Now for problem here, the statement of financial position to include goodwill, NCI, and net assets of the subsidiary as computed using step 4 and consolidated retained earnings in step 5. The statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income, the consolidated profit and loss and comprehensive income in step 6, profit or loss and comprehensive income attributable to owners of the parent, and B, for the non-controlling interest from step 7. Now we go to illustration number 1. We have the consolidation subsequent to date of acquisition. January 1, 20X1, ABC Company acquired 80% interest in XYZ, meaning it's not a totally owned subsidiary. There is a non-controlling interest or minority interest. ABC issued 5,000 shares with fair value of 15 per share and par of only 10. On acquisition date, ABC Company elected to measure non-controlling interest at the NCI's proportionate share in XYZ's net identifiable assets. So we have now XYZ's shareholders' equity as of January 1, 20X1 comprises the following. So we have now the share capital and the retained earnings of XYZ with a total of 74,000. Now we have the fair values and the carrying amounts compared, and we get the fair value adjustments. For inventory, adjustment of 8,000, equipment 10,000, accumulated depreciation of 2,000 negative, and we have now your accounts payable. So we have the net assets at carrying amounts, XYZ 74,000, the fair value of 90,000, meaning the fair value adjustment of 16,000. The remaining useful life of the equipment is 4 years. This pertains to the determination of the amortization adjustment each year. During 20X1, no dividends were declared by either ABC or XYZ. There were also no intercompany transactions. The group determined that there is no goodwill impairment. Now we have ABCs and XYZs. Individual financial statements at year-end are shown below. Statement of financial position as at year-end, meaning 1 year after the date of acquisition. So we have now the assets for ABC and XYZ. So ABC now at 23,000 and XYZ 57,000, total of 80,000. Now accounts receivable and inventory are already with the same amounts, no adjustments. Inventory had an adjustment as stated earlier, the same with equipment. You find the investment in subsidiary at cost 75,000. So we have now the equipment 150,000 for XYZ. I mean ABC 200,000, equipment XYZ only for 50,000. And the accumulated depreciation 60,000 and 20,000 respectively. So if you will determine the fair value, no, or the gross here for XYZ Incorporated, we have the amount of total assets amounting to 124,000. If we deduct the accounts payable of 30,000, normally your 30,000 is deducted in order to get the amount of net assets. So we deduct the total assets from the total liabilities. That will give you your net assets. Now with XYZ, the assets 124, year-end na ni class, and the liabilities of 30,000. So the fair value of 94,000. That's for XYZ. However, at year end, we have your share capital 30,000, share premium for the amount of, or share capital 50,000. And your share premium, no amount, and the retained earnings, total of 110,000 plus the current year. Okay? So that will give you retained earnings of 44,000, total equity of XYZ 94,000. And the total assets 124,000, liabilities for 30,000. So your net assets for the end of the year is 124,000 minus the amount of share capital of 50,000. You still have 74,030 or 44,000 the equity, and there is an accounts payable balance of 30,000. In other words, the statement of financial position will show the assets, liabilities, and equity. Now, for the statement of profit or loss for the years ended December 31, 20X1, and we have now 4 ABC and XYZ. So we have now your sales for both companies. Then we have cost of goods sold and gross profit. We added two amounts, depreciation, 40,000 and 10,000. Distribution, 32 and 18,000. Profit for the year of 60,000 for ABC, 20,000 for XYZ. Now we have to prepare the consolidated financial statements as of December 31, 20X1 solution. So we now use the 7 steps. Step 1, we analyze effects of intercompany transaction. There is none. No intercompany transaction given in the problem. So we can leave this out because intercompany transactions in the problem, there is none at all. Okay, in step 2, we have to analyze net assets. So we have now for the net assets, we have to analyze by using the share capital. So share capital of ABC of XYZ, 50,000 and 24,000, both in both dates. Then we have the other component of equity, non-total carrying amount, acquisition date of total is 74,000. While for consolidation, total of 94,000. These are your retained earnings, and the other components of equity is 0. So the totals at carrying amounts and at consolidation, and we have the consolidation date. Then we have fair value adjustment at acquisition date, 16,000 beginning, the same with ending. And depreciation of fair value adjustments, you get subsequent depreciation in the consolidated column. So at the bottom, we have your subsidiary net assets at fair value and consolidated amount, 490 and 100. The subsequent depreciation or amortization of the fair value adjustments is determined as follows. So we have now the fair value adjustments divided by the useful life. So you get the subsequent depreciation. Inventory, 8,000. Under valuation, equipment, 10,000. There is no subsequent depreciation in this line. However, we first have to deduct accumulated depreciation by 2,000. So we bring down equipment net 8,000, and we have divide by useful life of 4 years and depreciation of 12,000. So for the total of fair value 16,000 and 10,000. For this, we have step number 3, determination of goodwill. If we use formula number 1, NCI is measured at NCI's proportionate share. So we now get the consideration 75,000. Then we add non-controlling interest of 90,000. Amo na ang fair value of the interest acquired. Then you multiply that by 20%. Total of 18,000. So the overall total is 93,000. We have to deduct fair value of intercompany identifiable assets. So we have now your amount of 90,000. Goodwill at acquisition date is 3,000. We have accumulated impairment of issue or losses since the acquisition date. So we now get the goodwill net of net current year is 8,000. Okay, so we have now the goodwill at the current year end. It's still 3,000. Now, the non-controlling interest in net assets. XYZ's net assets. By the way, XYZ is the subsidiary. Its net assets at fair value on December 31, 20X1 step. So we have 100,000 multiplied by the NCI percentage of 20%. So here we have the total of 20,000. Then we add goodwill to NCI amounting to 20,000. And then the non-controlling interest in net assets is 20,000 using formula number 1. And then we have your step 5, consolidated retained earnings. The retained earnings of ABC at the end of the year, 110,000. Now that of ABC share in the net change in XYZ's net assets, the unrealized profit from the downstream sale is 8,000. For downstream, only gain or loss, but there's none. And impairment loss on goodwill, attributable to parent, none, but there is net consolidated adjustments in the amount of 8,000. Consolidated retained earnings on December 31, 20X1 is 118,000. Now, in step number 5, ABC share in the net change in XYZ's net assets. Net change is 10,000. Then we multiply by the interest acquired of 80%. So we have now the share in net assets amounting to 8,000. In step number 6, we have the consolidated profit or loss. So we have no profits before adjustment. No, we have now in step number 6. So the the consolidation adjustments, we just begin with profits before consolidated adjustments and profit before fair value adjustments, total of 80,000 earned during the year. And then we have depreciation of the fair value adjustment, 8,000, is to be charged to cost of sales. And we have 2,000 taken by dividing 8,000 by 4. Then we have the consolidated profit, parent 52,000, subsidiary 18,000. The total of the two is 70,000. The shares in the depreciation of fair value adjustments are computed as total subsequent depreciation at fair value computed in step 2, 10,000. Then we allocate this to the parent and to the subsidiary. So for the parent share, we have 10,000 times 80%. That's the share of the parents. We get 8,000. While the share in depreciation or amortization of fair value taken by multiplying 10,000 by 20%. And you have now as allocated. In step number 7, the profit or loss attributable to owners of parent and NCI, owners of parent and NCI, and then consolidated. We have ABC's profit before fair value adjustment as found in step 6. We have total of 60,000. Share in XYZ's profit before fair value adjustment. The profit is 20,000. 80% goes to the parents, so it's 16,000, and 20% goes to the NCI or 4,000. So we have now the depreciation or amortization of fair value adjustments in step 6, 8,000 and 2,000, total of 10,000. There is no impairment loss on goodwill. So the totals for parents, 68,000, NCI 2,000, net consolidated is 70,000. The share in XYZ's profit before fair value adjustments are computed as follows. So we have the profit of XYZ before fair value adjustment in step 6, 20,000, allocated 80 and 20% to the parent and to the NCI. Okay, now the consolidated journal entries, or we have now your elimination entries also. We debit to inventory for the undervaluation, debit to equipment, debit share capital of XYZ. We now close debit retained earnings of XYZ. We now close the amount of 24,000 for the beginning, and then we debit to goodwill as we have recorded in step number 3. We close investment in subsidiary for 75,000, and we have non-controlling interest for 18,000 and accumulated depreciation for 2,000. To adjust the subsidiaries assets to acquisition date fair values, to eliminate the investment in subsidiary and subsidiaries pre-combination equity, and to recognize goodwill and non-controlling interest in the consolidated financial statements. Then we have now your December 31, we have now your consolidation entry number 2 to recognize depreciation of fair value adjustments assigned to XYZ net identifiable assets at acquisition date. We now debit to the amount of cost of sales for 8,000, debit to depreciation expense 2,000, credit to inventory. We now close the undervaluation in inventory by 8,000, credit to accumulated depreciation. That's good for years. So 2,000. Subsequent to 20x1, the accounts debited for the depreciation of fair value adjustments recognized in are the retained earnings of both the parent and the subsidiary for their respective shares. For example, in the December 31, 20x2 consolidated financial statements, the subsequent depreciation of fair value adjustment is recorded as. So on December 31, X1, we debit to retained earnings ABC 8,000, XYC 4, 2,000 debit to depreciation, 2,000 credit to inventory to close the undervaluation, credit to accumulated depreciation for the acquisition date and for the current year. So we now have a total of 4,000. Then we have consolidation journal entry number 3 to adjust the parents and subsidiaries retained earnings for the depreciation of fair value adjustment during the year. So we now debit to retained earnings ABC for a total of 8,000. We now get the percentage of interest. So 8,000 plus 2,000 times 80%. We debit retained earnings XYZ for 2,000 and credit income summary working paper for 2,000. Close consolidated journal entry number 4 to eliminate the post-acquisition change in net assets and to recognize NCI. Debit to retained earnings, 18,000 and we credit to retained earnings ABC for 16,000 and credit NCI post-acquisition for 2,000. The amount can simply be squeezed after determining E and F, or it can be computed as follows. Retained earnings of XYZ at year end, 44,000, and then elimination of the acquisition date retained earnings, consolidation entry 1, 24,000. The NCI share is 2,000 in entry number 3. So the remaining balance to be eliminated equal to 18,000. That's why we debit retained earnings 18,000. This represents the parent share in the profits and loss of the subsidiary before fair value adjustment, step 7, representing the profit or loss attributable to NCI, step 7. The sum of NCIs in consolidation entry 1 and 4 represents the NCI to be shown in the consolidated statement of financial position. So we have now the total of 18,000 and 2,000. The amount of non-controlling interest is 20,000 at the end of the year. Notice that the amount of NCI in net assets above tallies with the amount computed in step number 4. Okay, so we will now prepare the consolidation worksheet, and we have the guide here. So take note of the arrows pointing to. So we have now the worksheet with the beginning balances at year end. Then we have the elimination and adjusting entries. And finally, the consolidated amount. So inventory, for example, ABC 105,000, XYZ 15,000. Then we debit 8,000 as fair value adjustment, but we credit it because we charge it to cost of sales. So the inventory is 120,000. We also close investment in subsidiary of 75,000. Adjust for equipment, adjust for accumulated depreciation. And then we close share capital by debiting 50,000 and retained earnings. We have debit and credit. So we first credit and finally debit. Then the non-controlling interest of 20,000 extended to the consolidated statement of financial position. We have now your consolidated income statement. So we have sales less cost of sales. Take note that the 8,000 we have finally closed to debit cost of sales. So total cost of sales, 80,000. That of XYZ. Add to ABC, we have the total. Then we have depreciation. We have added 2,000. And finally, we have the consolidated column, which will be the basis in preparing our consolidated statement of financial position. Take note, we have to recognize goodwill and also share capital of the parent and the share premium, and finally the retained earnings. So anyway, you can just refer to the consolidated column and your statement of profit or loss. Okay? So this statement of profit or loss. Okay. Hello? Dali, Nick. Dali lang. Diyan na lang, Nick. Yan.